Good afternoon to one and all. It is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests, Honorable Union Minister for Civil Aviation, Shri K. Mohan Naidu Garu, Honorable Dr. Jitendra Singh, Union Minister for State, Independent Charge of Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, and Minister of State in the PMO, Department of Space, and Department of Atomic Energy. Shri Wum Lun Ma Vulnam, Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, Secretary, DSIR and Director General CSIR, and Dr. Abhay S. Pashilkar, Director CSIR NAL, and all dignitaries, industry leaders, scientists, and distinguished guests present here today. We have gathered for a momentous occasion, the formal announcement of transfer of technology to the indigenously designed and developed Hansa 3 NG two-seater trainer aircraft by CSIR National Aerospace Laboratory NAL under the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. This milestone underscores India's commitment to self-reliance in aerospace technology, fostering indigenous innovation and strengthening the aviation ecosystem. Now I hand over to Mr. Anand for the further proceedings.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all of you. Respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, officials, CSIR family, industry, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar and good afternoon to you. It is said an aircraft in a hangar is most safest, but that's not what aircrafts are built for. Hence, we are here today to take CSIR Hansa 3 NG aircraft from hangar to Indian skies with long endurance of safe flying. We wish many happy landings for our Hansa 3 aircraft. Let us begin this event with welcome address by CSIR leader in science and innovation, Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, Secretary DSIR and DG CSIR, who is the first woman scientist to head national premier R&D institution CSIR and has been at the forefront of translating scientific excellence in national growth. May I now request DG CSIR and Secretary DSIR to welcome our esteemed dignitaries with a flower bouquet and set the tone for today's proceedings, please.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, and pleasant afternoon to each and every one of you. Most respected and honorable ministers on stage, Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation, Naidu ji, Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, fellow Secretary, Volnam ji, and Director NAL, and Oja ji, and my CSIR family, I would say my Mocha family, and the press and media, well-wishers, production partners, manufacturing partners, technology developers, collaborators. I take this opportunity to first start with the thanking remark to both the honorable ministers, because today is the long-awaited day that even after CSIR NAL, they have designed and developed this kind of a Hansa aircraft. They were really waiting for this great opportunity, golden opportunity for so many years. And if you just ask me to just recall, it was the year 2000. At that point of time, this NAL, they started their journey with the design and development of Hansa. It was not Hansa NG. At that point of time, it was only Hansa. So it was a light aircraft, of course, all compact aircraft, and it's a trainer aircraft. And at that point of time itself, NAL came up with the production of 14 such units, and 14 aircrafts were manufactured. And among the 14, 11 were given to DGCA. Later on, it got distributed to different flying clubs in the country. and 2 are still there in NAL, and 1 was given to an IIT. And I'm being told that among the various aircrafts that have been distributed at that point of time in the year 2000, many are still functional, and they are really functioning with a great efficiency as well as with the power, and it is living up to the satisfaction of not only the pilots but also the other consumers. And NAL did not get stopped with that kind of just giving the product to someone. We started interacting with the pilots, and we just started gathering their feedback also. So this is how we gathered all the feedback from the pilots and from the different end users, the consumers, and finally we decided that there is a further upgradation which is required, and today we are now coming up with HANSA NG. NG stands for next gen, and today it is completely designed and developed, and it is I would say the technology of CSIR NAL. And on behalf of CSIR, we are extremely proud, and I wish to appreciate and congratulate the team NAL for this great accomplishment. And this particular aircraft, we got a flying certificate, type certificate, and we got the day and night, this is night visuals sites also. And with all these flying certificates, again, they had little issues in identifying the right choice of the production partner. So NAL being the research laboratory, we cannot keep on doing this production and manufacturing also. We cannot take that responsibility, and therefore they started hunting for such kind of a partner. And when they just showcased this kind of a flying demonstration through different forums, Aero India or even other forums, at that point of time, they came to know that there is a great expectation and a huge demand within the country. Why? Because honorable ministers, both the ministers will definitely agree with me, and it is with their visionary leadership. Now India is projecting that it is not 300,000, it is 300 million passengers who are going to make use of this kind of a domestic flight. Therefore, in this country, when we are marching towards this Viksit Bharat, the number of flying clubs, the trainer aircrafts, training institutes, I think the demand is going to be so huge, so also the demand for pilots also. So this aircraft is a 2-seater aircraft, pilot trainer aircraft, and therefore pilots, when the pilots number is also going to be 5x in the coming 10 to 15 years, it becomes a responsibility of CSIR. Now you can ask in what way CSIR is responsible. I think this is a forum I can proudly say in this country, when we talk about this aerospace related technologies, when it is completely space related things, ISRO is taking care of. When it is strategy and defense related things, DRDO is taking care of. When it comes to the domestic and civilian related aerospace requirements, it is the CSIR NAL which is taking care of the requirements of the country. And actually, you may think that this is my statement. This is not my statement. It is a combined statement from all the 3 secretaries, because this question was once posed by the former cabinet secretary. Can you all define your roles? So at that point of time, we just gave this particular definition, and therefore we just go with the kind of our commitment. And today is a great day, golden day, proud moment. It is more than an eureka moment for us, because they understood that 110 plus demand is already there, and therefore they were hunting for the partner, and today they're coming up with the identified partner. The partner name and other details will be definitely expressed and revealed by both the honorable ministers. I take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome with a grateful remarks to the honorable Minister of Civil Aviation. Sir, I was totally impressed by the unassuming, down-to-earth, I would say, response that I received from your ministry and your office, and a simple mail request. One single letter request. Immediately we got all the possible signs from your end. Thank you so very much, sir. You are down to earth, by means of which we try to fly using this HANSA NG aircraft and the technology. And it goes without saying, our Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, we always consider him as a part of CSIR. I think many times we consider him as one among our scientists also, scientific leader. And we take all possible and many times extra advantages also with his permission. Sir, thank you so very much for graciously sparing your time. It goes without saying, whether it is Bojaji or my fellow secretary from the civil aviation side, all that time I got whatever and whichever way CSIR was really looking forward the kind of a support. So taking this opportunity one more time, I wish to place on record my sincere thanks to both the honorable ministers and the secretary and Bojaji, my appreciations and congratulations to CSIR NAL team, and I look forward continued support from press and media, and thanks to the complete team of CSIR NAL and the dynamic leadership of Director NAL, Dr. Abhay Pashilkar. Thank you so very much, and definitely it will be totally unfilled if at all I don't thank each and every one of you, because it is only you who are really gracing today's occasion, and I look forward many more such success stories and events to be celebrated in this particular way. Thank you so very much. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, madam, for your motivating words. I now invite distinguished Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, known for his dedication to aviation policy and infrastructure, Sri Umlangmang Volnam, Secretary, Minister of Civil Aviation, who brings wealth of experience in governance and a strong push for self-reliance in the aviation sector. Thank you, sir.
Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh. I'll speak louder, yeah. So my greetings to the honorable ministers. I also greet and congratulate the Secretary of DSIR, the DG CSIR, Dr. N. Karai Selvi, and the entire team. Especially, I'd like to recognize the Director of CSIR NAL, Dr. Abhay Pashilkar. He's one of the first persons I got to interact when I joined as Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation. And to all the colleagues, friends from the media, DG, PIB, and everyone present here. As we get into this very happy occasion where we are announcing a TOT partner for the CSIR NAL Hansa trainer aircraft, in fact, it is a new kind of PPP, public-public partnership, you know. The Department of Science and Technology, and through them the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, and we in Ministry of Civil Aviation. I think the more we can do these kind of PPPs, the country will move ahead. Make in India will be a success, and very happy from MOCA side that we are seeing the reality of today. And it is not just what we are expressing here. In fact, a few months back with our Minister of Civil Aviation, we had gone to the NAL campus in Bangalore, the entire team from Ministry of Civil Aviation and the NAL team and the FTOs, some of them were present with us, and we discussed about this aircraft. We explored how we can make it a reality of manufacturing it for all our FTOs, and it is a fruition of that. So I will not speak too much today. The honorable ministers will give the details, but a very happy day. And not just with NAL, in fact, I would also like to mention in passing that with HAL also we are getting into the same PPP, the public-public partnership in the context of helicopters. And the Pawan Hans Helicopters Limited, which we have in the Ministry of Civil Aviation, they have already signed agreements that they will be acquiring the Pawan Hans helicopters and to do service with another public entity, that is the ONGC, for our offshore oil rigs. So in fact, it's a full PPP in that sense. I think we have much promising days ahead of us. Aviation and air connectivity is something that the entire country desires to expand at a very fast pace, and I'm very happy that we are seeing the reality of launching this trainer aircraft to be manufactured in India. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights and continued support. We now come to the highlight of today's gathering, the signing and exchange of license agreement between CSIR and its TOT partner for the Hansa 3 NG aircraft. I now invite Mr. Kishore J. Patel, Founder and Managing Director, Pioneer Clean Amps Private Limited, to please step onto the dais for the MOU exchange, please. It is my honor now to invite the guiding force behind India's science and innovation ecosystem, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, who is a tireless champion for innovation and technology-driven governance. Under his leadership, Indian science is scaling to a new heights globally. Sir, we request your address to the gathering, please.
On the dais, Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation, Shri K. Mohan Naidu ji, about whom, as Dr. Kalai Selvi said, that he's very dynamic, very forthcoming, and as he said, very much grounded. And I think that is the reason we have made him in charge of all the movement in the skies. And therefore, it's always a pleasure and a privilege to be associated with him and his team. And I'm glad that he could spare time for us in spite of a very busy schedule that his ministry has been following over the last few days. He was kind enough even to give us time yesterday, but we realized how constrained he was because of the bill that was there. Therefore, we only suggested that we were taking too much of liberty, so we would rather postpone it to the next day. Along with him, Secretary Mr. Walnam, my colleague in the Department of CSIR, Dr. Kalai Selvi, whom you heard speak. She always has some good words to say about everybody. So don't take seriously about what she said about me. Of course, our very brilliant director, Dr. Abhay Shilkar, and DG PIB, Mr. Oja, who's always been very cooperative whenever we have made a demand to him, even at a short notice. Now, at the outset, I have to perform the pleasant task of congratulating you all, congratulating myself, also congratulating the team Aviation. This is a new beginning, in fact, being made in the transformation journey of India over the last 10 to 11 years under Prime Minister Modi. And as was being hinted by Dr. Kalai Selvi, we are now, I would rather put it statistically, possibly third largest domestic airline in the world. And for that, the credit goes to the Aviation Minister, Aviation Ministry, and to a very large extent primarily to Honorable Prime Minister, who soon after he took over placed before us the goal of Hawaii Chappal to Hawaii Safar. And that is precisely what you are seeing today. Those who traveled in a Hawaii Chappal in an ordinary tourist bus are now seen traveling in the aircrafts. And this transformative journey of India is obviously has given India a different kind of esteem as a global aviation hub. But at the same time, to my mind, it is also a reflection of the rising aspirational level in a common Indian citizen, which is now reflected everywhere. So the 6-7 departments that I'm associated with, I see this happening everywhere, even in civil services. No longer is it confined only to a handful of states, whether it be Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra or Bihar. You have now toppers from Punjab, from Haryana, from Delhi, and also the change in the demography. So much of democratization is happening in the opportunities. You have now almost 30% of females, even in the civil services, which was not there earlier. So this is, in fact, a rise in the aspiration level, and I, along with the colleagues in the ministry, have a kind of maybe by default, this satisfaction that we happen to be associated with science and technology, because this is primarily as a result of the technological revolution. Your information assessment is now become so easy that each one has access to any kind of information available. So it's no longer an elite privilege, and that has led to such a huge rise in every sector, including the aviation sector. And therefore, when we envisage for ourselves a global role, we have to prepare ourselves for that. And as Dr. Kalai Selvi said, the demand for pilots is on the increase. And our projections reflect that in the next 2 decades, this demand or this requirement will go up 5 times almost. And this is going to be both related to the growth in the passenger traffic, also the fleet expansion, and therefore also the requirement of day and night operations. Now is the time that even if you run an air flight at the most unearthly time, you will find passengers. So much is now the requirement, and also it's become literally a culture of our day-to-day living. But the irony is that the transformation is happening at a faster pace than actually one would be able to acclimatize or adjust. But I'm glad that the Prime Minister Modi has given us a free hand to move on. And in this sector also, right now we have only about 38 flight training organizations in the country, which, as you would agree with me, is not a number enough with the kind of growing requirement that we have. And therefore, the need is to develop an ecosystem, which of course involving the private sector, as Secretary of Aviation was rightly mentioning. So that, because right now most of our small aircraft market is under the control of the foreign companies, and therefore need for an indigenous, self-dependent ecosystem, which is possible only by integrating the entire ecosystem and doing away with this skepticism, if ever, between the public sector and the private sector. And I'm glad we have the private partners there. Must congratulate them also. The Hansa 3 is also a kind of a new experience and new experiment for us in CSIR. And I'm sure the times to come, this will also become a kind of a showcasing object for others, because we have a glass cockpit, which is a cutting edge technology based. We have a fuel efficient engine, and the performance metrics have also been raised to the next level. It has a 7 hours endurance and about 620 nautical miles. And of course, as the Secretary of Aviation rightly mentioned, so again, one of the success stories accomplished through public-private participation. And the facility for the first time in the public sector participation is going to be set up in Bengaluru. And as Dr. Kalai Selvi said, besides training the pilot, it's also will have applications in surveillance, in aerial photography, environment monitoring. And I think through this Hansa, we are simultaneously addressing 3 or 4 important objectives or goals laid down by us time and again by Prime Minister Modi. It addresses the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat. It addresses the concept of whole of government, as you see different ministries. It also addresses the concept of whole of government plus whole of nation, when you see the friend sitting the front row there. And therefore also promises to give India a global place in the aviation manufacturing sector. I think this is also an opportunity for me, because we have the media friends over here and also the colleagues from the Aviation Ministry. This is yet one another milestone for CSIR and for the Ministry of Science and Technology. I think one accomplishment which gives me tremendous satisfaction over the last 10 years is that, encouraged by Prime Minister Modi, we have brought science and technology at the doorstep of every Indian today. And we have made it a part of a larger objective or a higher objective of bringing in ease of living in the life of a citizen. And the success stories emanating from this ministry, also from this organization, are now being talked about even beyond the shores of India. For example, the same CSIR has recently come out with the concept of lavender agri startups, the purple revolution, which Honorable Prime Minister spoke in Man Ki Baat more than once, which was showcased even in the Republic Day parade, and which is now becoming a new avenue of livelihood also in the other hill states of India. The same CSIR has come out with the genetic driven processes of creating such horticulture and agro products which you may not find sometimes in a season which is not meant for that given product in a given season, at a given time. For example, our institute in Palampur is coming out with tulip, the same tulip which was also offered at the Ram Mandir. Nobody from media asked where come the tulip comes in winter January. It grows in Kashmir only in May, but it is there. Similarly, they have come out with another institute in Lucknow. I mean, she's a great empress if you actually recall. The other institute in Lucknow has come out with a 108 petal lotus, which has more than one connotations, and which figured as a question in Kaun Banega Karodpati or something. And thanks to her, one young lady also earned quite a few thousands, if not lakhs, out of that question. Then, very recently, I think only last month, we were the first to provide a biodegradable facility housed in a mobile van to the AIMS, New Delhi. They don't have to even transport all the waste from there. They can process it. And of course, the processed matter can be used elsewhere. In fact, what comes out processed is almost perfumed. So no longer you can make out that it has been created out of waste. And if you see the ministry as a whole, vaccine is a story which has created ripples across the world. The first COVID vaccine came from this ministry. And I always take fancy in saying that we were never taken seriously for our healthcare practices. Today we are taken seriously as a preventive healthcare leader. So that is a huge departure. The first indigenous antibiotic we have come out with. The first successful gene therapy trial in the treatment of several diseases, including hemophilia, has been done very recently. ISRO, I don't have to say because that already occupies space in the media, whether it's Chandrayaan or and soon, I think by next month, we'll be having one of our astronauts, Group Captain Shukla, accompanying the team going to the International Space Station. And that too speaks volumes about our talent, because when last time Prime Minister Modi went to DC, the offer came from that side that we should spare one of our astronauts to accompany the team. So that means not only our success stories are bringing change in the life of common citizens, they are also contributing to raise India's esteem across the globe. Even the lesser talked about department like atomic energy, which hardly anybody talks about. People think they are all creating nuclear bombs, etc., etc. And nobody ever realized that we had 65 crore visitors at Kumbh, and the entire cleaning was done by the Department of Atomic. They had to put up 3 plants, radiation driven, called fecal sludge treatment plants. We had about 1.5 million gallon of fecal sludge emanating every day from those makeshift toilets that was treated with radiation, then treated with some microbes, finally converted into inert liquid which could be used for gardening, which could be used for irrigation. So all this happening, why I'm saying so is that media sometimes doesn't take interest in what we are doing, because of course if Naidu ji abuses me, they'll come and ask me, how do you feel being abused? And I'll say, I feel very nice being abused by a dear friend. So that makes the news. But I'm glad that after this Chandrayaan, we have started finding space. And I was saying the other day in a lighter vein, space has given us space in media. So having said that, I think I can go on and on, because all of us are so passionately involved in this innovation journey of India. And therefore, I can assure the aviation minister, the aviation team, you keep flying, fly higher still, and we are there to create wings for you. Thank you.
Sir, we are privileged to have you with us today. Thank you very much, sir, for your visionary leadership and encouragement to CSIR and entire scientific community. We have with us a dynamic leader steering a new era of Indian aviation. Shri K. Mohan Naidu, Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation, is among the youngest members of the Union Cabinet. Honorable Minister is committed to enhancing connectivity and promoting Make in India colors in the Indian sky. Sir, we are privileged to have you with us today. Now I request Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation to deliver his address, please.
Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, Jitendra Singh ji, Secretary Ministry of Civil Aviation, Walnam ji, Secretary DSIR, DG CSIR, Kalai Selvi ji, Director CSIR, Abhay ji, and DGPIB, Oja ji, and all the important stakeholders who are present here, especially the private partners who are teaming up with CSIR in this iconic occasion, and my friends from the media, a warm good afternoon to each and every one of you. It is with great pride that I'm here witnessing one of the most historic occasions in the civil aviation of the country. And we already have the presence of Dr. Jitendra Singh ji from Science and Technology, but I have to admit that the major beneficiary out of this meeting is civil aviation. So I am the major gainer from this whole partnership that is happening here. And I would also like to congratulate the whole team, especially the scientists, the engineers and technicians who have been continuously working with a lot of grit and commitment that this kind of day will someday come. Because this has been a journey since 1985 when they've created the Hansa first one, the first model. And since then there has been a continuous this thing that somewhere we have to find that partner to manufacture this product. And even if after 30 years it is happening, they have still committedly pushed forward and created one model after the other. And today we are standing with Hansa 3NG, which is one of the best world-class top models in terms of trainer aircraft. So I'm very proud to witness this kind of event here today. Congratulations to the whole team at CSIR, NAL, and also the partners who are coming in here today together to create this. So my interest from civil aviation is to grow civil aviation and offer a lot of connectivity to the people of the country. Like Jitendra Singh ji has mentioned today, we are seeing an aspirational India where everyone is kind of dreaming about traveling through the air. And with the efforts of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in the last 10 years, we have seen a huge growth in the whole civil aviation landscape in the country. And to give you some numbers, to realize what the potential was and what we have achieved. From 390 aircrafts in 2014, we now have 840 aircrafts roaming around the skies in the country today. And the number of passengers that have been traveling in 2014 was around 10 crore, and now we have 22 crore passengers traveling both domestically and internationally. And if you look at the number of airports also, from 74 airports in 2014, we have created 159 airports today in the country. So in each and every metric that you see in civil aviation, we have almost doubled. We have had the challenges of COVID also, which was a huge dampener for civil aviation, but still we have beaten the pre-COVID numbers and we are still on the verge of growing much, much more. Today we stand as the third largest domestic aviation market in the country. And our whole intention is, we have created so many airports, and the intention now is also to create 100 more airports, 120 to be exact, 120 more airports in the next coming 10 years. So when you have so many airports coming into the aviation landscape, the challenge becomes the connectivity. Already there is a lot of challenge in offering the connectivity because we just have 840 planes. And the number of planes that are under order by the major airlines in the country are to the tune of 1700 right now. And to operate one plane properly, to continue its schedule every day, we just need up to 15 to 20 pilots for each plane. And when you're talking about orders of 1700, imagine the number of pilots that you would be needing. Because it is not just the planes that you need to offer the connectivity, but people who run the planes also. So pilots are an important thing in having a proper streamlined aviation services in the country. So if you look at the overall requirement, just for the 1700 planes, you would require up to 30,000 more pilots. And today, the kind of flight training organizations we have in the country, we are developing up to 1300 to 1600. These are the number of CPLs we are issuing every country. But the requirement is up to 3000. So this is why we are putting a lot of stress on creating more FTOs in the country also. We have almost 37 operating 54 bases in the country, and we want to create 50 more in the next 5 years. And the number of training aircrafts that are there in the country are up to the tune of 250. And like the number that I've said, that if you need around 3,000 pilots to be generated every year, you would need up to 750 to 800 trainer aircrafts in the country. And till now, the general position of the market and the FTOs have been that let us order these planes from abroad only. Let us order these planes from one of the countries who are doing it for years and years. Because every time the challenge here has been on finding the manufacturing partner. We have the brains, we have the technology, we have the expertise, we have the know-how, but somewhere the connectivity with manufacturing these high precision instruments was somewhere lagging in the market, which is what we have cracked today. And it is a great sign for all the FTOs which are going to come up in the future that they are going to be having a Make in India aircraft which was beautifully designed by our own CSIR NAL. So it is a great achievement for the country and for the young pilots who want to fly these big planes one day. And the other challenge for us also has been the amount it takes for a pilot to become a pilot. It is up to 50 lakhs and sometimes it crosses 1 crore also. And most of the pilots, we have seen the number of pilots licenses we issue, 35 to 40%, they are going abroad, studying there and coming back. Now that is a huge loss for the country also. Now if you have all the FTOs in the country itself, and if you have proper trainer aircrafts in the country itself, then definitely there is no reason for any student who wants to become a pilot to go abroad. Because of the bottlenecks that have arisen in the FTO industry, there is an opportunity for many of them to go abroad, study there, and then come back here and work here. So to gain on that potential of having them being trained in India itself, I think one crucial thing that we had to monitor was to develop our own aircraft. And definitely from today, the coming together of the private partner and also NAL, we are going to manufacture our own aircrafts. That also has been a very much a dream for civil aviation in the country, that we should have our own manufactured full assembly line of regional transport aircraft also. Now today we are at a stage where we can manufacture the trainer aircraft. We are doing fighter combat planes. We are doing light combat helicopters. So if you look at different wings, we are able to produce them in individuality in different silos. But these all become the building blocks to develop our own regional transport aircraft, and which I believe that it is going to be very much true in the coming future also. With the kind of technology and the partnership that is building in both the private area and the technology that is growing academically and within the scientist community also. So that is something which we truly want to achieve. And for that, it is important that we go step by step and all these steps get proper foundations. And if you look at the time it takes for a pilot also to complete, on average, in India, it is taking up to 3 years. Whereas the global average is 15 months. And some countries like South Africa, they are just doing it in 9 months. Why can't we do it in 9 months? So these are the things, these are the metrics that we should try to achieve in our FTO organizations, and we are thoroughly pursuing it from our civil aviation, because tomorrow we will see the planes coming in, we will see the growth of the airports, and then you will find that there is a dearth of pilots, then you can't do anything at that time. It is not that you can pick a student from a university and say and make him sit in the plane and say you go fly a plane. It doesn't happen like that. So you have to make him go through the training. You have to make him follow all due procedure, and then you can only make him sit as a pilot in the plane. So it is very important to deal with this situation where we need to generate more pilots in the country, and this becomes much more easier if you can develop an indigenous aircraft manufactured in the country. And now this is a world-class aircraft with full glass cockpit, with good avionics, and also what is more important, this is a practical challenge that we have observed in some of the FTOs, and why it takes 3 years also. Because they would have multiple number of planes, but whenever there is a technical issue with the plane, again the products need to be imported from some country. Wherever that manufacturing has happened, someone has to come, the parts have to come. Now that takes a lot of time. And even when you're dealing with these multiple countries, then the forex, everything, then that picks up the cost also. And so there are multiple challenges when the plane gets down because of maintenance, and that adds to the time the pilot takes to finish his course, and also the costs that are involved in completing the course also. So if you can have it developed locally, then the maintenance MRO of the trainer aircraft is also being taken care of. That also is a very important aspect in this FTO, this thing. So there are multiple benefits that come out with just this partnership. It is just not a business case that we are talking about. There are multiple questions that have been long pending in this industry, especially in the flight training organization industry, that will be solved by this. We feel this is going to unlock the doors. We have in the parliament Hansadwar also, through which we enter the parliament and we discuss and discourse about the issues of the country. Now this Hansa plane is going to unlock the doors of FTOs and the civil aviation, and many of the challenges. This is going to be a key for us in the future. I truly believe in this partnership that is going to get built up today. We believe that this is going to help the whole FTO industry. We want to bring down the time it takes for a student to complete his pilot course, and also the amount of money it takes. Now with this plane being indigenously, and I've personally went to the NAL facility in Bengaluru. I've seen the plane. I sat in the plane. I just couldn't fly in it by the time, but very soon I plan to fly in it also. There is a second seat also, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So I can if it was our honorable member Rudy ji, then he would have flown himself. But I can only sit at the time being. But I'm very excited to do that very soon. And right now, with the number that we are looking at, 50 more training institutions, probably in the next 5 years. Then if that is the case, every FTO requires at least 3 planes to operate. So that itself is creating a demand for 150. Now with these 150 trainer aircraft demand, even if you go to the best manufacturer across the country, they have a delay of 1 year, 2 years also. So you're not going to get the planes immediately unless you have the control over the whole supply chain mechanism, and that you can only do it if you can do it indigenously. So once again, I would like to congratulate for the impossible, what looked like an impossible task. Can we find a manufacturing partner for this? It almost looked impossible. But in other countries, what is impossible is developing the aircraft, having the know-how. But India cracked the toughest part, and the easiest part was still pending. It's going the other way around. But now everything has come together. It's looking very positive. And I would like to thank the Honorable Minister Jitendra Singh ji for offering all the support. Even though we are the glamour and the page 3 and everything, you're the brains and you're the wings, you're the instruments, you're the machines, everything. So for all the support that he has given and the kind of support he is willing to give in the future also, it means a lot for civil aviation. Civil aviation is getting more and more prominent in the country, and it is our due responsibility of all of us that are here that we cater for the demand and we cater for the aspirations of the country also. And each and every place that you see today, aviation has become railways also. I've seen in the house, everyone, the other day when I was passing the bill, recently we passed a bill on leasing, which is also going to help the training industry and the trainer airplanes also. So when I was listening to many of the speeches, they were just reading out like, we want connection, Sholapur, Mumbai, Sholapur, Delhi, Sholapur. At one point of time, how they used to talk about trains getting the connectivity. Now people are talking about airports and the connectivity that they need. So that is the aspiration that people have, and the tier 2 and tier 3 cities are also coming into that area where they also want to be connected, not just with the country, but also across the world. So definitely we all need to cater for the demand. We all need to provide whatever support we need. And this is the beauty of this country, where when we do something, how many people come together to create that kind of wonder. This is a great example for that. Let us carry this positive energy forward, built up on the foundation that we have built here today. And we will all support each other to achieve whatever we have promised here together. So congratulations to the team at CSIR NAL once again, and also Patel ji for bringing in the manufacturing technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the inspirational address and continued support to CSIR. Thank you, sir. May I now request DG CSIR to honor and present mementos to Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, and Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. Now I request Dr. Abhay Anand Pashilkar, Director NL, to propose vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So it's with utmost gratitude that I'm here before you to propose the vote of thanks. Our special thanks to the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, for taking time off his busy schedule to grace this occasion. Sir, your leadership of the Council for Scientific Industrial Research allows us to dream of designing and making aircraft like the Hansa NG. Your insistence to engage with end users and the industry to realize the core goals of CSIR has inspired and guided us to take flight. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation, Sri Mohan Naidu ji, has been a constant source of support and encouragement for all the civil aircraft programs of this country, particularly those which are undertaken at the CSIR National Aerospace Laboratories. He has been kind enough to spend time with us, and sir, we are working with all our might to realize your aim to set up the ecosystem to undertake civil aircraft projects of national importance under the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji in order to make India a global hub for civil aviation. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. My sincere thanks to Sri Walnam ji, Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Shri Piyush Srivastava, Senior Economic Advisor, Ms. Madhusudan Shankar, Joint Secretary for at the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Your engagement with our current and future plans gives us the energy to work harder to realize the dreams and aspirations of men and women of the country. Air Marshal Tejinder Singh, AVSM, VM, Deputy Chief of Air Staff, thank you, sir, for your support from the Indian Air Force, which in many ways is a steadfast anchor customer of many of our aircraft programs. The inputs from your flight crew simultaneously pushes us to design the state-of-the-art features and capabilities in our aircraft. Air Commodore Debanjan Mandal, Chief Test Pilot, Aircraft System Testing Establishment, yourselves, your pilot, Chief Test Pilots have again and again demonstrated phenomenal professionalism in undertaking the most demanding flight test of the Hansa NG and other civil aircraft at NAL. Sir, we look forward to delivering the Saras Mark II to meet your requirements. My heartfelt thanks to DGCA, his team consisting of JDG Shri Manish Kumar and Shri Sanjay Brahmane, Shri Manoj Kumar Sahu, Mrs. Meena Kapil, Shri Tarun Gogoi, Director AED, DGCA, and all officials who have provided us unstinted support to ensure that the Hansa NG is a safe aircraft. My special thanks to Dr. N. Kalaiselvi, our beloved Secretary DSIR, DGCSIR, along with the entire team from CSIR headquarters to ensure that the Hansa project receives full support, and particularly this function is a grand success. I'd like to also acknowledge the Airport Authority of India for their support during the conduct of the sea-level trials of Hansa NG at Puducherry, and DRDO for allowing us to use the aeronautical test range at Challakere for the most crucial engine relight testing. All our partners who have provided hundreds of parts for this Hansa NG aircraft, including HAL, which supported the welded parts, a big thank you. I thank the press and media, including Sri Ojaji, who have gathered here for providing coverage to this event, showcasing the multi-institutional partnership reflected in Hansa NG. Our production partner, Pioneer Clean Amps, for reposing faith in our aircraft, coming forward to produce it with this wonderful team of experienced hands. Thank you very much. Last but not the least, a big thank you to the NAL team led by Program Director Dr. C.M. Ananda, Project Director Sri Abani Rinku, and along with the business development team at NAL, who have worked tirelessly to make this project a success. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Now the floor is open for brief interaction with the media. I request Shri Okay.
Thank you very much for attending this conference, this program, and thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You want to ask something? Please ask. हाँ जल्दी से बताइए.
Either,
the company is doing right now, and its role would be in the near future. And on PPP, as it was mentioned that the private, what has been shifted out to PPP only. So I'm wondering about what sort of finances are required for the research on further enhancement of this present aircraft. Who will be funding it?
So we believe this aircraft has a lot more potential. We are working with the Ministry of Civil Aviation to enhance the weight from 750 kgs to about 800 kgs. We are also working with them. The aircraft is capable of instrument flying rule, IFR as they call, which is allowing it to fly in the night as well with the instruments. We are very close to achieving that along with the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the DGCA. And we have also, our DG ma'am has been kind enough from our ministry to fund 3 more aircraft which we are making. We already have 1 more aircraft ready. And along with our partners, we have many dreams for this aircraft.
Plan to do in near future.
In brief, this is a beginning. They will go on moving from one level to the next. So I don't think this makes much has to be said about that. Obviously, they'll keep flying higher and higher, keep moving to the next level. The PPP model will also keep increasing.
Let me reply in this way. It's a product which they have to make and make it marketable. There's no subsidy behind it. So let's not try and understand who is behind that and all. It's their task which NAL has found them fit to be able to make a product which will be marketable.
There is a definite procedure in place.
Yes.
So it's all very transparent.
Yes.
So
And it's a marketable product which will come. So it'll, the fruit will bear it out. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, if the permission of Honorable Ministers for a group photo, please.